This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Put them numbers to your numbers and make them numbers go up.
No.
What do you mean, no?
It wouldn't work.
And co-host Marnie Winfield.
That's why they say you're transferring $1,000 USD.
Oh.
US dollars.
Oh, yeah, that is true. It is the 18th of November, 2022. My name's Corey Winfield.
My name's Marnie Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Welcome. Marnie and I share about our lives in recovery. I'm going to have 4 years sober coming up in less than 30 days.
I know. It's like right around the corner.
Kind of a big deal.
It is.
Every day is a big deal, really.
It truly is.
But just the stuff that I learn on the way, you know, from, I mean, I've talked about this before, from when I had my 1 year to my second year to like third year, and then coming up on the fourth, like how I view things is so much different. Mm-hmm. Like even in the first and second year, I was still blaming other people, I think, a lot for my choices that I made that brought me to my substance use disorder with alcohol. And as time goes on, I take ownership of that a lot more. Mm-hmm. And look at the part that I played in it, you know, and not holding grudges against people, stuff like that. But it's amazing.
Right?
God is good.
God is good.
God is good. Speaking of God, he had me take a guy to treatment yesterday. And in Michigan, I don't know, for our people that listen in Florida and Arkansas and Texas and California, it's snowing in Michigan.
It was like our first real snow.
Yeah. Yesterday was kind of bad. It was patches. And I was going through the city of Gaylord. That's how it's spelled. That's how I say it. It's Gaylord. People from Michigan that live around the Gaylord area, they prefer to call it Gaylord.
It's just because you say it fast, I think. It's Gaylord.
Gaylord. Gaylord. No, it still says Gaylord. Anyway, as I was going through there, I hit the blizzard that Santa Claus is going to ride in on in about a month. And I was like, oh, geez. And the roads weren't that bad. The speed limit's 75 on that road. Hell yeah. It's America. Unfortunately, this time of year in Michigan, there's still a lot of Florida plates. There's a lot of plates from not this state. Mm-hmm. And those people get real scared. And they should be. You know, they should be back in Florida right now. They shouldn't even be in Michigan. What are you doing? Go home. Mm-hmm. Go to your other place. It's cold time. Leave. Please leave our state. I can't wait till I'm governor. That'll be my slogan. Gosh. Leave our state. Anyway, that's the problem though. Is these other plates that are on the road, and there were 2 lanes on the freeway. On the right-hand lane, it was probably about 3 miles up ahead. Every car was in the right-hand lane, going about 35, 40 mile an hour. Okay. Brake checking. And that's not what you do. If the roads are icy and snowy, you don't get up to the next guy and then go, oh, we're going too fast. Let's hit the brakes, because that'll cause you to slide. You just don't get on somebody's ass. You just let off the gasoline, you know? Mm-hmm. Pretty simple. So I had to bust over to the left lane and vroom, because you could go 60 safe. So I had to do that. And that led me to this greatest invention. I think this is going to be the greatest invention I've ever come up with. This could make us actually thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow. Okay. I can't wait.
Okay. So as I'm passing these people, it's occurring to me that the weather conditions, I can't really just start flipping people off. You know, it's not safe. I need to be, 10 and 2 and eyes on the road. But if I had a button, and if somehow, I'm sure people are smart enough to do this, have your car register when someone's being an a-hole, where it just automatically, bloop, it just turns on, like on my side windows, like a neon sign, just bloop, just a middle finger, bloop.
That's your invention?
Yeah. Don't you want one? I want one. I'll take 2. One for each side of the vehicle. Or maybe one in the back. You think so? But but if you had it hooked to the car where the car just automatically senses like, hey, dudes, cut you off for being an a-hole, bloop. It's like a warning to them. Like, hey, like when you're passing somebody and you come up on the side of them, they got them fancy cars and when you pass them, it shows that, hey, boop, there's a car in the left lane. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. So like all those sensors and things that exist on vehicles now, there would just be another sensor that means. So wait, so your car would light up when another car impeded on your sensor.
Yeah.
I see.
Or there's a button you can just hit.
Just know that that's where it would get dangerous.
There's a button you just hit the button and it'd be like bloop, 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 like 3 blinks. You know, you don't want it to be like. Oh
my gosh!
Isn't that great?
You're grinning ear to ear. I know you think
it's the greatest invention ever. Oh my gosh! And then as I'm driving, then I'm like seeing more cars I want to do this to. I'm just like, my gosh! Like I'd be wearing that sucker out. And that's when it hit me that about the like just automatic, you know, like when they get in your you know, kind of like the lights that come on people's side mirrors. Mm-hmm. I think I'm on to something here.
Would you run it past? Like, who would you run it past?
Nobody. What do you mean? Who would I run it past?
No, they'd have to have it be part of like when they create the vehicles, when they make the cars. Or it would be a separate installation.
Well, Elon Musk would probably be down for it. So it'd be on every new Tesla. And that's who I'd want to buy it anyway.
What would the name of it be?
I think it'd be I don't have a beep button, which is surprising. We call it the Corey.
Oh my gosh.
You gonna get you a Corey put on that vehicle? Hell yeah. I'm gonna get a Corey on each side and the front. You think it would increase road rage, though?
I think it would. Because I think you sometimes when people are angry at other people, you know, even when people flip other people, like they're so in the zone, which is why they make stupid decisions anyway while they're driving, that they wouldn't even notice, you know? And it's one of those things that if people would be feeding off other people's anger, and I don't think that's healthy. You know, where's the acceptance piece of all this? It's just
they would have to accept that they're in the wrong,
right? But also it's like
an accident.
Maybe those people just don't have the skill set that you have in terms of driving.
No, it has nothing to do with skill set. Because look, the reason why I get angry, because anger is a secondary emotion, is because I'm fearful of my life. You know, like they're going to do something that's going to endanger my life, and that's why I get angry. And that's why I need to do the old. Let them know.
It's. I mean, I get it.
Thousands of dollars. How much should we sell it for, though?
I don't know. I mean, you'd want to give it away for free.
Yeah, I want everybody to have one. If you know a guy, let me know. We'll get this baby hammered out. Get the patent on it and everything. Give me a Corey.
Oh, geez.
Everything's called Corey now. I got some shoes from Kenneth Cole. They're called Corey. So I had to get those. Corey. That's how you spell it. If you've ever named a child Corey and spelled it different, I'm sorry. You spelled it wrong. It's facts. Corey is how you spell Corey. But no, they got some Corys from Kenneth Cole. Check them out. They're pretty comfy. I got them. And then we were shopping today and we were doing Christmas shopping because it was snowing. It was crazy blizzard today up in Traverse City, so people drive safe. That's what they were saying on the radio. Turn on your lights. I was like, yeah, that's a kind of common thing. Anyway, we were shopping and we came across, of course, your favorite thing to buy is bedding.
Yeah, I love comforter sets.
And a long time ago, I wanted to pick one out. And I said, what about this? Or what about this? Or what about this? And you're like, yeah, that'd be great for a bachelor pad. And I was like, but okay. So since then, I've just kind of stayed away. You know, we have flowers and whatever designs are on our comforter.
No, don't even make it like that.
Don't matter to me.
No, because you always want everything like black and gray and like it just screams just like single bachelor pad, like black comforter with like black and white sheets.
Okay. I think it's fine.
It's not very homey.
Sorry, I don't have flowers on it. Wouldn't that kind of make you a little concerned if you were like over to my house? I'm like, yeah, come in here. lay on my bed, my flowers, my flower.
No, I mean,
comforter.
I don't have anything. I'm not really huge.
Like, did your mom give that to you? Wouldn't you be like,
I'm not huge on like the flowery stuff. I just like different patterns. I like neutral colors and gray and some blues and stuff. But anyhow, that's besides the point.
Anyway, I was like, let me pick one out. And I kind of jokingly was like, oh, I was gonna, do the bachelor pad thing. And I walked over and I was like, I wasn't looking at any names or anything. I was just like, oh, this one's nice. And you're like, Corey? And I was like, what? And I thought you were making reference to my bachelor pad. And you were like, no, it's right there. It's called Corey. And I was like, of course it is. It looks pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So
they can be expensive. That stuff is ridiculous. Like it was like $194 for just a comforter. I'm like, yeah, no.
Paying for the name.
I guess.
Yeah. Corey. So yeah, we might as well call this that too.
Okay.
My invention.
Okay.
But yeah, hit me up, Corey, Corey, obviously, at 217recovery.com. Send me an email. We'll talk about it. Because I know I can't be the only one that's like, that's brilliant. Would it cause road rage? That's not on me. That's on the other person. I can't help how they feel. I just know I would feel hella better just hitting a button.
Yeah.
I mean, how many accidents would that save? How many accidents are caused because someone's flipping someone else off? Take their eyes off the road. They want to make sure that they're giving it. They're looking back even. That's what I do sometimes. And you take your eyes off the road. But if you just can
they'd have to do a bunch of tests and things.
I wonder too, because some of that is like you want them to see. So you're like, hanging out the window. F you, buddy. If just hitting the button, would I get the same but
there's
release?
A lot of people that don't do that. It's like you just kind of just are irritated, yes, and
those are the people
you just keep driving.
Those are the people that get the finger, I think, honey.
You think the people that give fingers don't do anything wrong?
The get that finger are the ones that are like, what? I don't even know. I almost caused an 8-car pileup. I'm sorry, I'm stupid.
You get road rage for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you always assume, like, I don't know, it's a woman driving.
Well, I'm just saying.
And then it won't be. But you always think it is.
8 times out of 10. And the other 2 times it's old people. So
you get double points if it's an old woman, then for sure they don't know how to drive.
And then I have a little sympathy for a minute, but I'd still like to hit them with the...
No, one thing about the first off, I went many, many years without a driver's license.
Whoa, I believe it.
Yeah. Not because of my driving abilities.
No.
Well, I guess sort of.
Or lack thereof. No,
because of OUI. And so I'm just grateful that, so I don't really judge. But the one thing is, I think that this time of year is really critical because even living in Michigan, even if you are a Michigander, even if you've lived here however many winters you've been alive with a driver's license, first off, people forget like how to drive in the winter. Like you forget, like, wow. I got to stop. I got to test and see if my car's going to stop when the roads are like this.
I don't think you forget.
I think you do. I think that you kind of, it's not, there's a certain like kind of way that extra precautions that you take when you're driving in the winter because it's unpredictable. You don't know. It may look more like it's one way, but it's like there could be black ice underneath the, white drifting snow, that kind of thing. And it varies if you're driving a long ways, right? What are the roads like if you're driving along the bay versus what are the roads like if they've already been salted once and then that's new snow over it. It's anyway.
I mean, we're getting like Santa Claus blizzard out, so.
Yeah. Well, you need to you need to be more aware.
You should be aware when you get in your car, like, okay, road's going to be pretty bad. Let me not fly up to that stop sign or whatever. Yeah. But I don't think people forget that.
Well, the other thing, too, is some people's vehicles are just not in shape for this kind of weather.
I saw a guy with a rear wheel car trying to go up a hill, and he wasn't making it.
He's just, wheels were spinning. Like, he wasn't going up the, he wasn't driving erratically. He wasn't even getting any traction.
They're spinning.
So, and then people who have snow tires that have not yet put them on yet, you know? So, yeah, just everybody be careful.
Bleep.
Because you don't have the Corey yet.
No, wait till you get the Corey. And see, like, there was an incident over the summer. I was driving the mobile unit coming back from the tribe, just north of Sutton's Bay. And I was coming through, I guess you call it downtown Traverse City. There's not really a downtown, but there's a road with some stuff on it.
Yeah.
And I cut across through that, and I was in my lane. I was tired. Long day. And I was coming up in my lane, and I hear a thud. I look over, and this guy with this big-ass white truck, I guess he was too far over, and our mirrors hit. Mm-hmm. This is a big, tall truck. And he felt some kind of way about it, and I just kind of felt like, what an idiot. Why don't you get in your lane, buddy? And he, like, drove up, and he just looked at me, and I just gave him the, like, maybe stay in your lane, bro. And he was, like, just looking all mad like he wanted, but he didn't get a reaction out of me except for, like, stay in your lane, bro. Like, I shrugged my shoulders and be like, maybe stay in your lane. And then he, like, took off when the light turned green, and he flipped his mirror back out, you know, and
his mirror flipped in.
Yeah, I hit it pretty hard. Wham!
You hit it pretty hard.
Yeah, but I was in my lane. Like, but he was not in his lane the correct spacing ways. So if he would have been, because I was like coming back later, passing other cars, like, I don't know, maybe the next week, and I was like, yeah, that wasn't my fault. I was in my lane. You know, his fault. He wasn't in his lane. That's what happens. Taught him a lesson. But see, I could have been like, whatever, buddy, but I didn't. I was just like, stay in your lane, bro. It's your big truck. You know what they say. What do they say about people with big trucks, honey? What was that?
They get their windshields flipped back.
Yeah, and there's something else, I think. I'm not saying that if you have a big truck, I'm just saying this guy. He kind of, I'm not even going to say he looked like a douche, because that would be very negative.
Right.
I'm being positive today. I was listening to Christmas music. I tried to listen to a Jesus station for a minute. It was like positive Jesus vibes.
Yeah.
And I turned it. That's all the positive I could take at that time. But you got to do what you got to do, man. You know, to stay positive in this world today.
Yeah, for sure.
Hitting a button. Flipping the Corey to somebody. Showing them the Corey. Like, we got to have a whole terminology with that.
Do you really want your name associated, though, with anger?
It's associated with shoes and comforters.
Yeah, shoes, comfortable, and comforters, comfortable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a button that means angry. You don't want to. You don't want your name to be associated with that.
I'm saving people. How many
it's
accidents?
After the button only goes off after the damage has been done. So how is that even?
No, I'm saving people from accidents because, like I said, we don't know. Maybe we could get a grant and do a study on how many accidents are caused by people flipping people off.
Maybe.
See, the state of Michigan would probably give us $1 million to do that study. Probably. Anybody got some time? Want to help us out with that? Again, Corey, CORUI at 217recovery.com. So, and then since I was in a great spirit today and we were out shopping, I pulled a Tyrone at the store. And I'm not going to say who we were shopping for or if it's a real person that we were shopping for. But we were at this place and we were trying to figure out if they had this certain kind of brand of this other stuff for a certain maybe person who exists. Maybe they don't. And you were like, well, which one should, we get for this person or whatever and that person? And I think the lady, did she come over to us and ask? No,
I went to her and I said, what is the difference between these two sets? Like, is there a difference and could you describe it? One, and then we basically said, she described the differences and then you took it upon yourself.
What did I say, honey?
He says, which one is better for a hoe?
No.
Yes, you did.
I said, which one's was which one's with a hoe like? Or
Yeah,
or
that's what
something
she
like that.
said. That's what she said.
She was like, I was like,
She's like, how do I respond to that?
a hoe. and Tyrone, there was, and it all went back to this, because I don't know. It went back to the Tyrone moment. Like I went back there in my head before I said it, because I thought, this is a perfect time. When we were doing the old Captain Save-A-Ho, our friend Dustin, when I was in sober living, I was manager of the house or whatever, and Dustin was like, hey, and Dustin was having a hard time financially, and it's like, how are you gonna pay your living expense, man? And he's like, well, I don't know, but hey, can I borrow some money, because I need to go buy this girl some tampons and blah blah blah. And I was like, what? I was like, dude, you don't got food, you don't have anything, but you want to buy this girl some tampons and ship them to her downstate. Yeah. I was like, were you Captain Save-A-Ho? Okay, well, I'll tell you what, Dustin. I'm going to make a cape, which I did. And we had a Cricut, and so we pressed this cape. And it was fun, because we went out to buy the cape and all that jazz, and came back and made the cape for him. And it said, saving hoes since 1976. I think that's when he was born. And then we put like a little thing on the back of the cape, Captain Save-A-Ho. And he had to wear that cape into Walmart in Petoskey. And if he did that, we would buy them for him and ship them. Mm-hmm. So he did. So we got pictures of it. And when he went walking in, wearing this like hunter orange cape with Captain Save-A-Ho on the back, it was me, Tyrone, Chris was there, I think, and Dustin. And we go walking in, and the greeter's there. And she's looking at Dustin like, oh, special needs kid coming in, like she just was like, what is this guy doing? And she just look on her face. And Tyrone noticed the look on her face. So Tyrone was like, oh, ma'am, this is Captain Save-A-Ho. And she kind of looked, and she was this older white lady, and she's just like, what? He's like, Captain Save-A-Ho. And she's looking at him like, Captain Save-A-Ho? He's like, no. Captain Save-A-Ho, a hoe, the woman of the streets or the woman of the night or something like that. He said, man, I fell out laughing so hard. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And like we recorded Dustin as he walked in, and then I turned it off. And oh my God, I wish I just would have kept rolling, because that was the best thing ever. So it's just being like one of the people that witnessed Tyrone say that. And Tyrone's like being all serious with it, like, ho, like you would talk to a kid. Ho, is the lady of the night, like.
Oh my gosh.
It was so funny. So like, that's what came back to my mind when it was like, which one's blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. Got one for a hoe? Or which ones would the hoe like?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I just kind of thought that was funny. And I texted Tyrone, and I told him, I was like, I pulled a Tyrone today in the store.
I think you only said that because you had experienced that with Tyrone.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
Had nothing to do with anything,
No.
purchasing the gift or the person it was for or anything.
Nope. It kind of came back to that. And that's just, I was like, oh.
Oh my goodness.
Good times.
You were entertained for sure.
I was, yeah.
She was just lost.
She wasn't nearly as lost as the lady at Walmart.
No, she actually was like, this one.
She did say that. She was like, yep, that one for sure. That one's got the Billie Eilish.
I don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was our fun day in recovery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And then there's another project that we've been hoping to start. I think it was back in September, maybe. I was approached, and it was like, hey, can you help us start this podcast? And I got excited, and I was like, hell yeah. Because I'd kind of offered to help him before. He had mentioned he was going to start a podcast, this group of people. Well, you'll hear more about it soon, but it's like, yeah, I'll help you. And he's like, oh, we'll place a bid for that. And I was like, okay. So I did, and I went through like all the equipment that they would need, and the funding is going to be there for them. So it's like they can start with great stuff right from the jump. Like that's huge. To have backing like that. I mean, that's not how I started, but hey, if you got the financials there, do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, we could have bought some stuff over and over with some of the microphones that we bought, but yeah, if you got to do it, you might as well do it right. So I put a list together of all the stuff that they would need, and then we waited, and it was like, all right, well, there's some other people that bid on it too, so let's see. And all right, you're our guy. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, well, hold on, we got some red tape we got to go through. I'm like, okay. But then I just got the email today. It was like, got the green light.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited, and I texted the guy. I was like, I heard you got the green light. And he's like, I heard you got the green light. And I was like, yeah. So I just told him, I'm very excited to be a part of it. I think it's going to be huge. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be a big deal, and I hope he knows that. I hope they know that.
They will,
because it will be a huge, big deal for them. And I think that just doing it right. And I have a million and 1,000 ideas that are probably better than the Corey light.
Yeah, I hope.
But I really think that they could really make an impact with what they're going to do, and I'm just very, very excited. And like I said, you'll hear more about it in the future. And I don't know, maybe probably within a week, I'll have a guy on the podcast, and
yeah,
it'll be exciting.
I think the most exciting thing about that whole thing is that all this started out because of your passion for doing this, right? And also your willingness to really give anybody help who would want to get into it that reached out to you. It wasn't like you were trying to sell anything. It was like, hey, if anybody is interested, I will give you whatever kind of guidance that you want for free. And this happened. And then this is when opportunities open up, and that's definitely a God thing for sure. Definitely. And, and then the patience piece, right? You didn't get angry and F this, never mind, forget the whole thing. It was just just wait it out, see what happens. And, if it ends up panning out, that's amazing. And if not, then it just wasn't meant to be. So, and here you are, and how awesome is that? And then you were just so humble when you told me, and it's a big deal. It is. It's really a big deal. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, just to be a part of that project, I think is huge. Just to be a part of it, like I said, is what I'm most excited about.
And same thing is that same passion and all of that you have about podcasting and your experience, sharing that gets other people excited about what it can be. Same thing you do in recovery, right? Is that knowledge and that excitement and showing people the possibilities and potential of something. It's the same thing. Just now you're talking about radio or whatever, podcasting.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be awesome. I'm super excited, and I'm so happy for them to make it their own,
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people, I guess in radio, I was more, I don't know. I liked Howard Stern, but there were too many guys trying to be Howard Stern, and I didn't want to be Howard Stern. I wanted to do my own thing, and I would hear other people do bits and stuff, and I'm like, they could have made that better, and I would kind of maybe, if I bit their stuff, I would just take a part of it and then do what I thought would be better on it. I wasn't blatantly stealing people's stuff. In radio, there would be a station that'd be like, hey, we're looking for a morning show. Send us all your best stuff. They weren't looking for a morning show. They were looking for ideas for their show. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're looking for a new sidekick, We're looking for a new co-host. We're looking for a new team member. Send us all your funny stuff. And then they would just steal that. Mm-hmm. Never even hire anybody. Mm-hmm. So that's the way kind of radio was. But, with helping people with a podcast, I don't care. I want somebody to start a podcast and have 1 million listeners. That'd be great. Yeah.
And have it be about what it is that they're passionate about.
Yeah.
Right? Have a podcast about, I don't know, making cookies or whatever it is that people have podcasts about that they could talk for hours and hours about. Mm-hmm. Everybody's got something that they could just keep on going. Mm-hmm. That's what podcasts are.
Ghost hunting, paranormal stuff.
Yeah, and offshoots, whatever. It's all about entertainment too.
It is. And the people that find our podcast are the people that we want to listen to. People that are looking for a recovery podcast. Mm-hmm. Now, are we sitting here talking about recovery all the time? We got doctors on? No, not really. Sometimes I'll have somebody on or whatever, but it's more about just, hey, here's our day. Here's what we went through. Here's what we've learned. here's what's going on with us. We're still sober another day. Some of these podcasts, when I first started doing it, I was like reaching out for other people in the podcast industry and with recovery podcasts, and they never got back to me. One of them did, and then he never called me that day we were supposed to talk. So I was like, all right. But then I noticed a lot of them don't keep going. There was some that would have like 20 episodes, some would have 30, and then I'd say, oh, well, they haven't done one in 6 months. You just wonder, well, what happened there?
Or it's like the Forrest Gump thing, like, that's all I got to say about that. And then,
Yeah, but they just didn't
this is
stick
what I have
around.
to say about recovery. I can't think of anything else. So
Maybe.
every day you incorporate your recovery into everything you do.
Yeah.
And eventually it's like I tell a lot of, when people ask me like how, when the, script flipped, what it was like. And I'm like, it's like you're on like this awesome autopilot of life. Like, yeah, I recognize I'm in recovery, but I don't stress about it. I don't obsess about it. It's just who I am now. And this is how I live my life. There's more space mentally, emotionally, spiritually to like live. It's not so bogged down with like, the mental anguish and then worrying about what I have to do and, feeling bad about what I did do and who I didn't call and, what I missed out on. And, that whole just beating yourself up all the time because life isn't how you want it to be, all because of freaking drugs and alcohol. And you take that away and it's just like the opportunities are just endless. It's awesome.
Yeah. And some people, and I guess I did this for a minute, think about all that time I wasted.
There are times when I still reflect on that.
It's like, damn, I wasted a lot of time, but
yeah.
Can't do anything about it.
I think that's healthy too. I mean, I just don't let it absorb my thoughts.
No.
But it does, I think it's okay to sometimes just have that kind of recognition, like, wow, I'm so glad that I don't have to live like that anymore. And I'm on the other side of it.
And that's how you turn it around. Because you're going to have that moment of like, God, I wasted so much time. Like, what? But look what you're doing now.
Yeah. You know what? I do that a lot after upsetting dreams or nightmares, if you want to actually, that's more appropriate probably. And they don't even need to necessarily be about drinking or drugs, but just like those unhealthy, like that you have no control over and you wake up and you're feeling some kind of way. And I'm just like, and I just like, I look over and I'm like, oh, phew, I'm safe in my home. There's my loving husband, like, who's faithful to me. And I am also to him. And it's just like, it's one of those things where it's just like, it makes you just count your blessings and get out of that moment. Because like that's the kind of yuckiness though that I would feel in my life all the time. And that was what I was living it, like living the nightmare. Yeah.
Yeah. So look at it like, yeah, you might have wasted a lot of time, but look at you now. And this is the first time that I've ever lived, these past 4 years, like this is the first time I've ever lived. And it feels great. And this is what I got today. And I had to go through all those times, those dark moments, all those stupid things that I did and said. I had to go through all that to be where I'm at today. So I just going to look at it like that too. And it was an expensive education. It really was.
Yeah.
On the pocketbook, mentally, physically, it was tough.
Yeah.
But to be on this side of it and to be able to help people and for people to say, hey, put in a bid, help us start a podcast, and to be able to do that, and it's just people that listen out there that maybe started their own because hey, they heard Corey and Marnie on there, they heard Corey and Chris and Tyrone or whoever it was. I know Adam Brothers, he started that podcast finally, and I'm proud of him, man. He's doing it for the right reasons. I listened to it and it's like, and it's Adam and his I don't want to say old lady, but Sean, his significant other, and that's what they do. They go back and forth, and he was kind of kicking himself because I think it was like the 3rd or 4th episode. And I think he put some kind of limiter, or he did something with the processing where which I'm not going to keep doing that, but like every time you took a breath, it was like, and it sounded bad, you know, and I was just like, bro, I was like, I heard a lot of breaths in there, you know. I said something to him and he's like, oh, I feel so stupid. I was like, don't, man. It's your like 4th episode.
Right.
Like you got to dial it all in. It takes time.
Yeah.
You know, wait till you get the right equipment, wait till you get the stuff, and just listen to, I think I told him, listen to some of my old ones.
Yeah.
You'll hear that cheap microphone we're using, but it's all we had at the time. We didn't care.
Right.
It was about the message, and I'm just proud of him for doing it, though. And he's been jumping on here with me on Discord. I think the last 3-4 weeks or something like that. He's done it, and you know he's sounding better. You can hear it in his microphone, you know, so he's dialing things in on that. So Stone Soup Recovery Podcast is the name of theirs. You know, check it out. You know, he's a guy, different take on it. You know, he's been through different things, but a lot of the stories are the same, and just him and his lady friend talking about their stories and the stuff that they went through. So
good for him.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It is. You could tell when it's coming from the heart.
Yeah.
And I just told a guy that today in an email. I said that I just figured that the things that I've done that were from the heart and not from a place of greed, God's taking care of me.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be the same. That's what I told them. You know, it's like, I'm not going to worry about this or that. And it's just, you know, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I think that if I'm doing it from a place from the heart, that God will take care of me somehow. I don't have to sit around and wonder, oh, when am I going to get mine, man? You know, I don't have that greed coming to the table. And I think that changes everything too.
Yeah. It's
hard though sometimes, because I'm like, hey, I want to invest in these Corey signs in my car, but damn. Uncle Sam wants a cut. Damn. No, but for real though, when you do things from the heart like that, it shows and people notice. And God does take care of us. So
yeah,
that's all I got.
That's all I got.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great night.
Look for the Corey Lights at your local hardware store soon.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.